Hello everybody, this is me. I didn't do my hair. Anyway, last night the iOS 6 update got released, so I kind of wanted to go through and show everybody what some of the changes are. I do not own an iPhone 5, of course they haven't been dropped. This is my iPhone 4S. I've had a bunch of issues. Some of them I haven't been able to test yet. But I at least want to go through some of the changes the OS has made. First off, the first thing you'll notice, a fade effect when you press the button. You know, that's pretty much the same, but everything's, you know, that's off, but that fades up now. It's not an instant up. So one of the graphical things is basically more CPU intensive, but it adds a neat effect. The other thing, sorry, you don't get to see. Look at my mess while I type in my password. Okay, some of the other changes you will notice, as we see here, the App Store. To me, it looks a bit more like the iTunes store, where things are a little bit more presentation is a bit better. It looks a little bit better. The Genius actually worked, because after a while, Genius actually stopped working, and you get this full screen kind of look at these apps type of thing, which is kind of neat. You get a picture, you get the rating, all in one set. Instead of just icons and the name, you actually get a bunch of information. The update is changed a little bit too, where this lists you your updates. You can install it, but you still have the update all button right there at the top. Pretty simple. The other thing that's changed, and this is not something I like, Maps has changed. They're no longer using Google Maps. This is what I don't like, and it's really hard to see on this screen. Okay, even dimming the lights you really can't see, but here's the thing. Believe it or not, this is harder to read for me, especially outside. Not enough contrast going on. With the Google Maps, I spend a lot of time, and a lot of things are still similar to Google Maps. You know, standard, hybrid, which I see hybrid, but I still, if I was using this as GPS, it would really be really hard to see. Satellite, you know, you have all that. You have a 3D mode, which is somewhat interesting. You have your, you know, which way your phone is facing, stuff like that. But all in all, I don't like the new maps just because of the reading ability. It's really hard to read. The lines for the streets are really, really small. There was some updates in Mail, but some of the newer stuff, I really haven't played with the Mail much. The newest feature is this, the new Not Disturb. And essentially what that does is that puts your phone on automatic, you know, you receive calls, but it puts you in a Do Not Disturb, sending people automatically to voice message, which is kind of nice. So you can still see that people called. The other thing that was really neat was, and it's right here in General, where the heck did it go? And yes, you can see right here about iPhone AT&T microcells, what I'm located on. Where is it? Advertising is another function. Limit ad and tracking. I turn that ad on. They did do a bunch of updates to Siri, but it's more or less to make it more functional. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with it, so I'm not going to go and talk about that too much. Map features, you can have, it'll have turn-by-turn voice now. You can change the distance from miles to kilometers. You know, always in English. Label size. What is it? iTunes and app stores. That's pretty much all the same. Twitter and Facebook has been kind of integrated into the OS, which is really, really neat. The main thing is, one of the features that has come back is syncing your Facebook contacts with your phone contacts and your calendar. If people have put their birth date in their Facebook, it'll now get put in your calendar. I like that because it helps me keep track of birthdays because I'm very forgetful. The other thing is it allows you to, it'll sync up people's current, faces, pictures, their latest Facebook picture on Facebook so whenever your phone rings and it's them, that's got their latest Facebook picture. The other thing they have added is Passbook. I haven't had a chance to play with this because I do very little traveling, but basically you got boarding passes, tickets, store cards, like loyalty cards and stuff like that. Coupons is something that I'm going to be playing with eventually, but for right now. iTunes app looks a bit more like the iTunes on the computer, iTunes on the Mac and the PC. So everything looks, basically you can scroll this way. It's not just a single page. The one thing I am hoping for the most is if I click on something and I go back, I'm back to where I clicked, not all the way back at the beginning of the list. All in all, there was a bunch of updates to Safari, but being as I don't use Safari, I already use as a Google Chrome. So other than that, there's a bunch of other tweaks, bunch of other OS stuff. I'm still playing with them, but this is just basically to give you a general view of the major changes. You know, Passbook, the App Store change, which is, I like the App Store change. I really think it was much needed for a very long time. The Google Maps, which is Apple's Google Map, or Apple's map system and no longer Google. So now I'm going to have to download Google Maps because I don't like this new one. The problem is there's not enough contrast between the streets and basically the line plots where the houses and the businesses are. It's really hard to read. Even in this low light, it's hard to read. And I know being in a car, it's not going to have enough contrast. So this is not something that's ready for prime time, and yet they released it in iOS 6. And being this is a 4S with the Retina screen, it shouldn't look too bad, and unfortunately it does. The App Store update, absolutely needed. The nice thing is they still have the charts, still have the Genius, which I really like the way Genius comes up where you get the full page and you can now click not interested. If you see an app, they put something on there, you can go, I'm not interested in this. And it'll help to build your information. Sorry I'm going back and forth. This is kind of one of those reviews where I'm just, you know, your contacts like this, still pretty much the same. You've got your groups. You've got clock is pretty much the same. I think they've added a couple of features. Voice memos I really don't think has changed at all. And like I said, I'm going to play with Siri some more. I shut it off a long time ago because it just, to me, it just wasn't entertaining. To me, it actually just slowed me down. There was new features in the camera app, and I need to look at that. Let's go into options, grid on, HDR on, panorama. So now they've added panorama function in the camera system, which is nice. The other thing they've added was now instead of photo stream being here, it is down here on a button. So you switch between them, and there's supposed to be an added photo stream to share with other people. I haven't played with that either. I was going to play with it with my wife's phone, see if it functioned. I don't know. I don't remember if the iPhone 4 is going to get the iOS 6 update. I need to check. But once that does, I'll play with that. But this is just the initial, show you guys what's going on for those of you who haven't gotten it. Where is it? Music has gotten a little bit of a facelift too. I forgot to mention that, and I'm going to play that. You've got, your podcasts, your artists, your songs, your albums. I think the interfaces, to me, it looks like it's been updated. There's supposed to be a movie mode while recording. I'm interested in playing with that a little bit more. Anyway, here's a little update for your iOS 6 for those of you looking to upgrade your phone and not sure if you're going to update the OS on your phone. Here's a little insight what's going on. Thanks for watching, guys.